Hello everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. I'm going to show you a YouTube channel on something I've been working on leading up to what I'm about to show you. Hi everybody, Brian here from Shut up. Okay, so if you go into my YouTube channel, I've got a bunch of new videos I put out. I can do analysis on 315 currency pairs from Binance. I can also do short and long now, and I'll show you the data that we measure on. And basically, what I've got is I've got this spreadsheet I've worked on. You can find that in these videos here that I mentioned. As an example, 315 cryptocurrency pair analysis with strong buy signal June 6, 2018. Another one. 315 cryptocurrency pair analysis with strong short June 6, 2016. Those are the title of the videos. So now what I'm going to show you is a report. So I've broken out two reports, one for the crypto long, the other for the short. In the video that you know about, or sorry, in the file that you know about, the ranking, let me just pull this up. So in there, you will know that I put a lot of reliance on the signals that get generated, and I've broken them out now with a buy signal or sell signal. So with that, and I'm also using daily data from Binance. So in there, I've now summarized it into one report. Now I'm going to show you the old report. So right here, what's running is to generate that report. I'm now crunched everything down to about 3 scripts in total in Python to get everything running. So I've really optimized it and to shorten it down. Anyways, I'm going to show you one of the older versions, and we'll revisit this one that's getting generated. But this is what is pretty well generated, and this is the data is a few years old. So what we got here is we've done a optimal analysis for the longs. I have to make sure I put the current timestamp in there. That's off of locally on my system. And what I've done is I've got buy signals that generated out of the 315 pairs, and these are them. So we have DGD, BTC, among these other bunch as well. In there, what I've done is I want to do a comparison of the group mean, and the volume, because if you watch any of my past videos, you'll know how I've noticed that volume is a very important determination or a factor to measure if you're going to put an order in of this whatever pair, that you'll be able to get them properly filled, because the slippage can be pretty awful if you're working with a cryptocurrency pair that has virtually no volume, or liquidity is another way to say it. The other thing I measure is volatility. We all know that cryptocurrency is fairly volatile, so this is the group mean of that volatility, or better known as standard deviation. And in there, what I've done is I just want to do a comparison of the whole group of these pairs of the time that these took place. These are just used for comparison. So for instance, I'll run a script and do a standard data frame in Python in I believe it's pandas, whatever it's called. I always get the pandas and the NumPy confused. Anyways, we generate a data frame. In there, we get what we look for here. Actually, the data frame is the same as what's generated within the this file here, this Excel file. So this is considered or it can be a data frame. And out of that, what I've done is to generate these next ranking. It is based upon a simple sort, but I'm sorting 3 columns. So I'm sorting by volume, I sort by volatility in reverse or descending. Obviously I want the one with the lowest volatility out of these pairs. And the other thing that I sort by is, it'll come to me, but another factor at some point I'll factor in is the slope of the curve of the trend. So they're just a standard sort on multiple columns in one sort. Man, this is what they generate. So here's our first pair. I wouldn't say I would recommend it, but this is just for the lazy man's approach to do this. Is the first pair that gets generated to potentially trade on is the DGD Ethereum. Again, you'll notice that it's kind of close to being in line with the group, with the average of the group mean or standard deviation here. So it's not too far off, slightly more volatile. Obviously, this is the problem now, is the volume, because you can tell here, this is the group, here's the volume that's typical, but because the volume's so low, I'm going to let you be determinant on that. Oh, the other thing that I sort on is by harmonic pattern, which a lot of them don't have. If you watch the past videos I mentioned here, you will be able to figure out that there's not a lot of these harmonic patterns that get generated for these groups that have bisignals. And usually what happens is they may have, for my testing, you may get one harmonic pattern, you may get two for different pairs, but that is the top choice. So if there's a harmonic pattern, then yes, this will be a top pick. But usually the volume's a big one. So out of that, the other thing that we want to make sure is we put on the entry, we want to make sure it's within our Fibonacci. So the closing price, the last price is within or lower than our group, a golden range. So basically these are the charts that gets generated. So we have here the first one, moving average cross signal. Here's our buy signal that we talked about. We have an uptrend, which is good. We have right here a steepening profit potential. We have it here, and you can see the gold zone that I referred to are these different levels within the Fibonacci levels. So we want to make sure that we are between this, well, basically that we're lower than 0.382. That's all we care about. We don't care if it's been battered down. As long as it's below that, we will be able to factor that as a plus. So again, that's what this Fibonacci price is less than the golden range. So it's essentially just another way of saying, are you lower than the value of the 382 level? And I might need to rename that. The other thing that I do chart is the overall normalized distribution chart of daily moves. You can clearly see it's not, there's lots in between the daily moves are within this bulk, but usually if it's more skewed towards the negative, that means it's obviously going to have a much lower rate of return. Means basically that you're losing money on those negative daily returns. Let me just see if, so it's still cranking away. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to make sure, now I've never done this before, and as I said, the data I'm looking at right now is fairly recent. I would say it is in the last 2 days. I would not recommend you to go out and buy these based upon these recommendations, but this one I'm generating right now is fairly new. The data is not much older than a few hours, so this is pretty hot to trot. We'll go through that report as well. So the first, let me just confirm the theory here on these and see where and who, what, why, where, if these are worth anything. So here's DigiX Deo, however you pronounce that. So here we have a buy. So we're confirming the theory that it's not a strong buy. I wouldn't be too excited by it because of the volume levels are just fairly low, but that signal is good. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So our next pair is GDD BTC. Once again, here's that harmonic pattern. So that harmonic pattern combined with the signal of the buy signal, put it near the top. Here's another problem. It's fairly volatile because the group volatility was 0.08, and this is 0.9. Let me just show you here. So the the volatility is kind of crazy, but again, the volume's fairly low. We do get this bullish pattern, and again, our price is below that golden level. So here we can see the buy signal here. Nice thing is the trend's up. You can see again, it's up. It's up. It's below that trend. And here's actually, I'm not charting the harmonic pattern, but I should be able to do that. But here you can see overall the daily moves from this statistical normalized distribution is more in the positive because it's to the right of the zero. So that's a good sign. So let's just see that pair, see what TradingView does. So you don't care all this bullshit. So again, we care. It's a buy. Good. So let's check out our next pair, which according to is Ethereum BTC. Standard deviation, which is a very low and volatile. It's very low in the volatile area. The volume is not too bad. It's below our Fibonacci level. Slightly up. This is a good sign on the trend. It is above trend, so maybe, just maybe, we may have hit a bottoming process for this pair. I've noticed a lot of these, I won't say a lot, but it seems slowly but surely a lot of these pairs are starting to flatten out on their trend, and maybe, just maybe, they might start, that bottoming process may be already happening and maybe already starting to shift up. And that's with a lot of the cryptocurrency pairs that I'm seeing. So once again, we are within the range, perfect to get in. And again, we can see yet again, we slightly have more positive daily return moves. And again, these little outliers are not too bad. Let's just check out that buy signal, Ethereum BTC. This one's not bad. This may be an actual good one on the timing, but we'll see what the new report generates. Let me just make sure I'm hitting the right exchange. Doesn't really matter. But again, we have a buy. Cool. Okay, moving on to the next one. Now, okay, before I continue, we've got roughly, I think 5 pairs in this. I can't remember. But I'm just going to tell you, I'm not going to go through all of these. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, so 7. I'm going to do this one. This one I think I should do ZIL. ZIL. So we got Ethereum, Bitcoin, and we have this LSK. Okay. So we have this LSK BTC. Again, we're just slightly below the group volatility. The volume is quite high, and what's surprising, this volume is much high, well, a little bit higher than the more classic pair of the Ethereum Bitcoin. So it says something about more people are putting money into this. Again, this is just an example of that trend is just bottoming. It's flattening out. So we may be hitting something in terms of a bottoming process. Again, it is below the value, which is good. Again, there's some more negative moves, but not too bad. So let me just pull up the buy, the recommendation from TradingView just to confirm the theory on stuff. So we're 3 for 3, which is pretty good. See here, let me just show you something here. See right here, we have all these different exchanges. I'm going to try to make sure I pick the right one of Binance, because that's the same data source that we're using. So here's the odd thing. It's a sell. It's a sell. So we are wrong there. Lisk Bitcoin. Okay, why don't we try one more just for luck? But you can tell it's a negative because there's so many here. Now, before I continue, we've already gone through how many pairs? 4. Now, if in case you have not or don't know, I also have this thing which is a portfolio optimizer. And when I've run all kinds of tests of the various number of currency pairs or cryptocurrency pairs, I usually get a higher expected rate of return running 1 or 2, but nowhere close to if I ran it against 5 or more than 2. Very rarely will I get a higher rate of higher expected return. It will do expected ratios like Sharp, Sortino, Markowitz, as well as some other stuff as well. Recommended to do Sortino because the volatility is much higher than normal than other asset classes. So crypto is fairly volatile. So you do want to use something like a Sortino. So I think, yeah, Enigma is this next one. I remember doing this a while back. Here you can see the volatility is slightly higher. The volume is pretty high. So let's see what this says. But before, the trend's up, which is a big one, but it's overpriced. And again, slightly more negative distribution. Let's see what it says here on TradingView. I'm going to say this will be slight buy. And again, this may be, that's just because of, yeah, so it's another sell. Who knows? But again, these are not the top picks. But if you go in, the one thing I can tell you is when you look at these buy signals, this one did okay. This buy to this sell. But this one had very little revenue. The moves are not that good unless you're here to here. That's a nice move, obviously. But overall, the trend is up. But that's including this huge bump up here. Well, I'd say it should, but it's skewed. Okay, let's do one more. How's our report doing? That's done. So we'll take a look at that in a minute. So we have TNC. BTC, again, the volatility is just slightly higher. Now I'm looking for trends among all of these different factors, but something's already telling me is if this cryptocurrency volatility is higher than the group, then I think that's a safe bet to say maybe stay away. That's what I'm thinking as a something that as a trend that I'm seeing. So you can see that this volatility is higher than the group. The volume's quite high. Trend is down, so it's probably more of a short opportunity. No harmonic. It is battered down on the value. Definitely more negative, so I don't think this will be something I'd be all over. But just showing you this. So let's see what the so again, that's a sell. Yeah, and I think that's because of the negative trends. Okay, I'm not going to go through the other shorting, but I will show that in this new batch of data. So again, what I'm about to show you is now the freshest reports because the data is only a few hours old. So yeah, so there's our spreadsheet. I'm not going to load that. I'm just going to load up these Word documents. So we'll do the long first. So we have how many longs? Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's a totally different batch from yesterday. And again, we're working with daily data. We're not working with hourly data. The group mean, the volatility average or the mean is slightly lower than the other batch we looked at. So let's check it out. So we have MDA BTC. What's it saying? So we have a buy sell. I don't know. And the funny thing is, it's more volatile than the group. But this one came out on top. So once again, I'm going to use this barometer. If this volatility is higher than the group, chances are this may be something that you may want to ignore. So this doesn't excite me. The volume, I don't know why that's 0. Downward trend, but still above. Yeah, this thing's been battered down. Look at that negative. Look at that, is really bad. I am not really interested in that one, but let's just check it out. I think this would be more of a sell. But based upon that sorting is definitely something that doesn't really excite me. Definitely a sell. So who knows? I think what's going to save us here in these is the volatility. If the volatility is higher than this, the group volatility, yeah, that might be a nice false flag. And plus, we can also determine that there's a lot more negative returns than positives. So again, that's something I wouldn't be all that interested. Okay, so we have Litecoin and USD. The volume looks kind of weird if you ask me. The standard deviation volatility is lower than the group, within range. So we have some interesting buy signals here, a little higher rate of return, a tinier bit, still a downtrend, below average. But again, look at that negative result. So this one may be okay to get into, but it's just not all that, doesn't impress me all that much. So let me just see what the recommendation from TradingView is. This is for the long. USDT. Oh, this is Litecoin and Tether. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what we're doing, right? Yes, I think that's what it is. Litecoin and Tether. USDT. Sell, yeah. I don't like it. Moving on. Okay, so what's our next one? So here we have, again, Enigma and Ethereum. I don't think this will change much from the different one. What was the group? 0.07 for the group volatility. Oh, I'm sorry. It's 0.090. So this is below the, again, the volume's not that strong. Got a buy signal. It's just been flatlining. Slight trend up, which is interesting. It's within our, look at all the negative returns. I wouldn't be jumping all over this either. Let's see what TradingView says. I think, yeah, this will be a sell. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Wave. Again, this is very low. The volume looks pretty good, actually. It's within our Fibonacci level. So here's our signal. This was a nice move up. Downtrend, but it's above trend within our range. Here it's mostly negative. So again, I'm not going to go too crazy with this. Oops, we don't want that. We don't care. Binance. Yeah, that's another sell. Bomb. Yeah, some of these aren't too good. It's a bear market. TNB Bitcoin. What's it saying? Below the the standard of the volatility. Let's see what this puppy says. Volume's not too bad. Again, range bound. Slightly down within our range, but look at all that negative returns. I ain't gonna do this one either. TNB. Got that already loaded. Sell. These are the ones recommended, but again, I think, oh, that's it. So that is not a lot of longing opportunities for this batch, but it doesn't mean that tomorrow or Sunday we don't have opportunities there. We have the ability now to run the reports, but there's always shorting opportunities. So let's check those out. But right now when I'm starting out, I don't think I'll be shorting. I just find I'm a little confused. So if you remember, our last batch had 6 longs? Let me just see what it was. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 shorting opportunities. So here is our volume, which is quite high. There's our volatility, group volatility. So this one, OAX, is slightly higher. Volume's very low, which we don't like. Actually, now I'm thinking about there's a bug in here, but let's just check this out. So we have a sell signal here, shorting. It is below trend, which is what we want, or sorry, below trend. It's still undervalued. This one's tough to say because the momentum is quite a bit of positive here. So let's check out what the recommendation is on this one. Probably just short or sell. Yeah, so we got that one right because we want to sell when we're short. Okay, next one. Storage ABTC. Now, what was our group? 0.089 for the volatility. This one's below. The volume's very low. Sell signal can confirm that. Slight uptrend, but it's below trend. Valuation's tough to say. There's more positive moves. Storage ABTC. So again, a sell. We got that right. XLMF. This is definitely below group volatility. Volume's not too bad. Sell, but look, it's just flatline. I mean, it's useless. Slight trend up within our range. But we always want, if we're going to short, we want the reverse from longing to be up here to even make more money. So that's kind of, that combination is not going to do too good. This one seems to have more positives, so I don't think this one will do that well. XLMF. Stella. So again, it's a sell. Lots of selling. Lots of selling, that's for sure. AIONBTC. Volume looks good. Below the group volatility within our range, which is not right. Got to fix that. Below our trend. Again, there's just not a lot going on here. The stats, the distribution showing the right thing we like to see. So here we go, another sell. We're correct. I think it gets kind of bizarre when there's so much selling in the bear market of cryptocurrencies. Can't go wrong. But getting the long is a little hard. But we did okay with 2 out of whatever. So there was an opportunity with those first 2 longs. Standard deviation below the group. The volume here looks pretty good. Again, I gotta check that. We want our for shorting, we want our price to be higher than the gold range. The trend's going the right way we want. Again, there's just no movement here in this moving average stuff. This is below where we want it up here, to be honest. Again, it's just evenly split on the returns, so this one doesn't look that good either. But I'm sure it'll be a sell. That's what we want. That's like having a monkey throw darts to get it all right, and that's what we got. ARN BTC, very low volatility. But look, it's just dead. Lots of volume. But it's not, the trend is sort of up. I don't think this will go anywhere. But at least if it does turn in terms of going down, at least in our case, the Fibonacci lines are above the Fibonacci levels. And we do have quite a few. Actually, there's no positive returns, so who knows? But I don't. This may be right too, but I bet you won't make a lot of money. Historically, it just has gone nowhere. I'll probably get this one right too. Sell, yeah. No guff. Okay, next one. But I find it very interesting on that. On the volume, it's just huge. Better ways to deploy our capital, I think. ADA, and this is Tether, I believe. I'll know that in a minute. Yep, Cardano and Tether. See what it says. Much lower than the group volatility. The volume is very high. There's hardly any movements here. It's bizarre. But here, the shorting looks pretty good, and it may drop even further. Definite trend down. But again, we would like to see this at the peak, so when we're going to make our maximum profit on the short, we want our price to be like up here and then just watch it drop. Back here would have been a great time to short it. But look at that. There's definitely more more negative returns than positive. And that's pretty well it. Let's see what this guy says on the Tether. Sell. Woo. Yeah. So there you go. For today, June 8th, which is really leading into tomorrow. But I thought I'd just put this together now that we have this. So lessons to be learned, at least on the longing side. Really the volatility definitely will help you if your volatility on the long is lower than the ones that generate signals on the group volatility. So if your volatility is lower than the group volatility, then you should be okay. Anything if it's outside of that, I wouldn't take the trade from what I'm seeing here. But I have to run more analysis to be able to figure that out and just find these sort of trends on what's safe, it's not safe. But these first two longs, if anything, maybe let me just repeat, make sure, because those were not going to make you a millionaire, but yeah. Anyways, I think we've already done it, so I'm not going to repeat it. But I think there was one or two there on the long side that maybe worthy looking at, but it's just not a strong conviction to even enter in the market right now. But I think overall, from what I'm seeing, there's definitely seems to be some kind of bottoming if you're going to stay on the long side of crypto. So who knows? Overall, the market may be somewhat stabilizing or finding its bottom and then eventually find its way up on a profitable sense. And that'll be good because as the markets come off in the stocks, I think more money will start to pour into crypto, which means it will start to drive it up, which would be a good time to get into it, potentially. That's what I'm thinking. But hopefully this will help you out, and we'll talk to you soon. Later.